معركة أوليس, or another name for it is معركة نهر الدم. In English, it is the Battle of Ullais that took place in 633 CE. After Khalid ibn al-Walid and the Muslim army defeated the Persians under the command of Zahgar, Yazdegerd III was furious. He still did not understand how a nation that had been limited to one city a decade ago had been able to defeat 3 imperial armies. He was also disappointed that Commander Bahman did not join Zahgar's army. This would have led the Muslims to be outnumbered 4-1 in Walajah. He decided that he needed a new plan to defeat the uprising Muslim army. A tribal chieftain of the Beni Bakr side by the name of Abd al-Aswad went to the imperial capital. He demanded that the emperor to give him a new army so he can take revenge on the Muslims for the loss of his 2 sons. The Persian emperor agreed and was happy that he was going to have more Christian allies than before. This is because the Arabs knew the style of fighting that the Muslims did. The Arab Christians also relied on light mobile cavalry to make their attacks, so the Muslims were going to need a different way to defeat this type of army. The Persian emperor sent a message to Commander Bahman telling him to head to Ullais to guard the city of al-Hira from a possible siege. When the Persian commander received this letter, he did something very strange. Instead of responding to the order and heading to Ullais, he sent his general Jaban with an army to go defend the city. However, he ordered him not to engage in fighting the Muslims until he came with more reinforcements from Ctesiphon. Bahman then went to the imperial capital to discuss a further plan with Yazdegerd III. Khalid had not been worried about the 5,000 soldiers that were garrisoned at Ullais after their defeat at Walajah. His plan changed when the spies informed him about the advancement of Jaban. Khalid then sent the general al-Muthanna ibn al-Haritha to scout their location and to capture the Arab and Persian forces that were at Ullais. When he went there, he took the soldiers at Ullais by surprise and they surrendered. They informed the Muslims that Jaban was coming with a huge army after some days. Commander Jaban had reached the city of Ullais. On his way there, he acquired Arab Christian armies of the Beni Bakr tribes under the command of Abd al-Aswad, Malik ibn Qais, and Jabir ibn Bajir. Khalid's spies told him of their movement. The Muslim army that was stationed at Walajah then moved to Ullais to encounter the Persians. The Persians aligned themselves in a simple battle formation of 2 flanks and a center. Commander Jaban controlled the center with the Persian troops. Malik ibn Qais and Abd al-Aswad were the wing commanders for the Arab troops. The Persians had 70,000 men. The Muslim army divided themselves in a similar formation with a center and 2 flanks. The wing commanders of the Muslim army were the usual of the Battle of Walajah and the Battle of Al-Chains. They were Adi ibn Hatim and Asim ibn Amr at-Tamimi. The Muslim army had around 18,000 troops. This made them outnumbered 4-1. The battle started with champions dueling each other from opposite sides. Abd al-Aswad came out and called for Khalid to duel him. Khalid accepted and rode out to face him. In the ensuing duel, Khalid killed the Arab commander. This was a boost for the Muslims as they defeated one of the top Christian Sassanian generals. For the Arabs in the Persian army, it was a blow of morale. The 2 armies then went out for a full charge. There was no space in the battlefield for Khalid to do any of his cavalry maneuvers as it was very narrow. Khalid knew that the winner was going to be the army that had the highest morale and did not break their lines first. After hours of fighting, the outnumbered Muslim army began to retreat slowly. This, however, was a faint retreat, and Khalid ordered the Muslims to hold on and not to break their lines. He then ordered for the Muslim army to make one final charge. This charge was successful. The Persian army started to flee, and the ones remaining were defeated. The Muslim army was victorious. However, the fighting was not going to end there. Khalid was angry at the fact that the retreating forces from the Persian and Arab sides would regroup into other armies and fight them again. He decided that he was going to exercise the plan that he did not in Ullais. He did not want to leave a single soldier from the opposite side alive. He sent a section of his army to retreat the fleeing Persian army. Commander Jaban was able to escape, but the majority of his army was captured. Khalid then ordered the soldiers from the Persian side to be executed and for their bodies to be thrown into the river. However, this account of the battle is only mentioned by one of the early sources. After the battle, Khalid ibn al-Walid had a very famous quote describing the army that he met at Ullais. In Arabic, he said, في مؤتة كسرت 9 سيوف في يدي لكنني لم أقبل أبدا عدوا مثل الفرس وبين الفرس لم أقبل عدوا مثل جيش أوليس. In English, it translates to, at Mu'tah, I broke 9 swords in my hand, but I've never met an enemy like the Persians, and among the Persians, I have never met an enemy like the army of Ullais. When Caliph Abu Bakr heard the news, he was overjoyed, and he remarked at Khalid's military ability. The Muslims under Abu Bakr had conquered the south of Iraq. The next battle will be the siege of Al-Hira, and where Khalid will capture the capital of modern-day Iraq in the Sassanian Empire. The siege of Al-Hira and many more Muslim-Sassanian confrontations will be covered in future videos.